Hello, my name is Andrea Coleman and I'm going to demonstrate for you how to make an Artfelt elephant. I know you'll enjoy making them with me. Carving your elephant. Cut out your templates and mark off the relevant areas with a pen all over. When you've done that, you can take the template off and take a ruler, and you need to mark between the legs like that, so the trunk and the back, and then between the two side legs like that, and the side of the trunk like that. You should end up with a grid system. You could put an X on each leg so you know not to cut these off, and the tip of the trunk there. Then with a craft knife, cut around the place you've marked. I've done this earlier, and cut these areas across like this, and same here along the top here. Do the back part here and cut down the side of the trunk like this to there, and there as well, so across here. So you should, once you've done that, I'm just going to pull these away, you should end up with these bits removed, like that. This bit will still be attached, so we'll move the trunk, and you need to cut quite deeply in there like that, and along here and along here, so like that. I'll pull it out. This needs to be fairly deep, this bit. Then we can start to shape the whole elephant with a pair of scissors. So clear these away. So I take off the corners all over. And you just continue doing this until you're happy with the shape of your elephant. When you're carving, don't cut any foam off the trunk. When you're happy with it, and you will have to take quite a bit off, turn it upside down and take your thin coated wire, and we're going to insert that up the middle of the trunk. This will stabilise the trunk and make it easier for you to cover later on. So you just push it in. There, it's disappeared, and you can then now bend your trunk and you're able to access these areas. Ears, patches and tails. To make the ears and patches, we've got to make a small piece of flat felt. To do that, take a small area of your fleece and trap it and pull it away. We're all going in one direction. Don't be frightened of patting it and getting rid of the static. Take small amounts at a time. Use the fibres and create a thin layer with the fibres all going in one direction. It's got to be thick enough to cover the bubble wrap so you can't see it clearly through. Then take a quarter turn and repeat this process so the fibres are now going in a different direction, like this. Then, once you've placed your colour patches, put your organza on the fleece. Dot it about. Leave one area free of organza because we'll cut the ears out of that area. When you're happy with the way you've put your colours on and your organza patches, get your soapy water and sprinkle it all over, getting it very wet. Soaking it right through. Then take your thin plastic and place it on top, press down very firmly, get rid of all the air bubbles. And you carry on doing this for a little while. You can't do it for too long. Once you can see no more air bubbles, you can then sprinkle a little bit of soapy water on top and spread it over and rub your hands over your work. You spend about a minute doing this, and then you give it a quarter turn after you finish that minute, and you spend another minute in this way, and you go right the way round in the 4 different directions, so it's like a quarter of an hour on the clock for 1 minute each time. Once you've been rubbing this for about 4 minutes, take off the thin plastic and pinch your work. If the fibres come up very easily, then you should turn it over and do another 4 minutes on the back. If, like this one, you can't easily pick up any fibres, that's ready now and you can put it to dry somewhere. Right, to make your elephant's tail you need a piece of fleece that's about 6 inches or 15 centimetres long. Then subdivide it into a smaller bit. By twisting it very tight you can tell how thick your tail's going to be. Then roll it between your palms of your hands like this, keeping both ends fluffy. If you'd like to put a stripe on your elephant's tail, take a really thin bit of fleece and wrap it round at this point like this. Then we need to add a little bit of soapy water. Like that. And then carry on until the fibres have locked together very tightly. Covering your elephant. Now I'm going to show you how to cover your elephant. Turn it over. We're going to concentrate on the bottom part of your elephant. It's very easy to get bald patches on it. So what we do is we just take small amounts of fleece, place them over your elephant, poke them down all over. All these hard to reach areas. This takes quite a while to do. Put thin pieces of fleece, pull them out and lay them on top of your elephant, and then as you go take a felting needle and stab it in place. Don't worry about hurting your elephant, he can't feel a thing. You need to pay special attention to the underneath of your elephant. These bits in between the legs are very tricky, especially this part where the trunk joins. And you can spread its legs like that. Don't worry at all about stretching the animal, and get this area thoroughly covered. When it comes to the trunk, you can wrap the fleece around, take thin bits and wrap them over like that. It's important for the fleece to go in different directions. Be very careful with this needle, it is incredibly sharp, and when you do the trunk it's easy to stab yourself, so always keep your hands well away from where you're piercing. Once you've covered the underneath, you can repeat the process on the sides and the top of your elephant. Get your fleece firmly in place with your needle and the underside of your elephant well covered, and then you can turn it over and start filling up the side and get the fleece going in different directions. You'll find the sides and the top much easier than the underneath with the legs. Once you've covered the sides, concentrate on the trunk. So you could roll your towel up a little bit, support the trunk, and then place your fibres on, poke them in. And it's got to go, the fleece has got to go in different directions, so try to keep it supported and keep your hands out of the way. Once you've done the sides and the trunk, you could cover the back. Again, putting on thin layers in different directions and poke them into place. So once you've covered the bottom area, we can then do the top of the back, and you just repeat the process. Don't worry about those ugly holes that you see that the felting needle creates. They'll all disappear later on when we get onto the wet part of felting. So once you've done the back, go to the face of your elephant and same thing again, cover her up. Once you've covered the face, look all over your elephant for any bald patches. It's really, really important. And if you have one, like here, just take some fleece and break it in half, maybe even put another piece on, like that, like a sticking plaster. Place it on the spot and poke it into place so the bald patch is covered. Then you can get your tail and we can place that in the appropriate place. So you'll have two fluffy ends and choose one of them. I think I'm going to choose this end here. You can take some of it out, the long bits, open it out as wide as you can, place it in that centre area, poke it into place, and secure with a few extra fibres. Once you're quite happy that your elephant is completely covered and there's no foam showing, you can start to add more colours. If you'd like a more splodgy effect, like this elephant. If you don't, if you'd rather have just a true patchwork elephant, don't put any more colours on, just carry on with a bit more fleece all over. So if you want colours, just small amounts of fleece, tear them off and put splodges on it wherever you want them. Once you're happy with your splodges, we can start to put some patches on. We take small amounts of your pre-prepared patch that you made earlier and cut small patches out like this, and then place them wherever you feel is the right spot for your elephant, and then poke them into place. There are certain places that are harder to attach. For instance, on the corners of the trunk, I wouldn't put any over this area here. They tend to fall off. I wouldn't bother with the underneath either here because they're not really going to be seen. But they adhere very well to the sides and the top and this area. Take your time over this. It's really a fun part of the elephant making. When you're happy with all the patches and splodges in your elephant, cut 2 ears on the bit of the pre-felt you made that doesn't have the patches of organza on it, and then place at the side of the head of the elephant and secure with your felting needle the edge of the ear, about 1/2 centimetre deep to 1/4 inch. If you want, you can add a tiny bit more fleece on this area, either in the pink or a colour which integrates the ear better. The wet part. Put both ears in place and secure them, and then cut a small bit of your thin plastic, place them behind each ear like that. Same on the other side, and then saturate your elephant with the soapy water. Get it thoroughly wet. You need to use an awful lot of water, and don't forget, lift up the ears gently, don't pull them, and get them wet behind the ears as well. Then just gently place your hands on your elephant and pat it very, very gently. Don't pull on the fibres. This process takes a long time. Keep turning it, keep pressing. If there's dry areas, add a little bit of extra water. The fibres will feel like they're lifting up. That's quite normal. It just takes quite a long time. Keep patting. Slowly you'll find that the fibres are beginning not to lift up as much, and you can start to very gently stroke your elephant all over, but you're really just brushing it gently, no rubbing at this point, just encouraging the fibres to lock into each other. Move the tail from time to time, and also don't forget behind the ears, very carefully fold them back, not the whole way, and check this area here. Pay particular attention to the join of the ears. Rub them quite hard. You can take your thin plastic out if you need to, and once everything feels much firmer to the touch, no fibres are lifting, you can start to use the bubble wrap to rub your elephant against, and this will harden it more and shrink it down. Also, the trunk, you can roll it between your hands to start to get a rounder look to it. make sure those ears are really stuck on firmly before you start this. That this will strengthen your elephant a lot. When you're happy with the feel and the touch of your elephant, it should feel very slightly pebbly under to the touch, and none of the fibres should be lifting off, and the patches should be firmly attached. Then it's time to rinse it out, and when it's dry we can put the eyes on. To put eyes in your elephant, find the spot you want the eye to be, stab it repeatedly, then take a very small bit of black fleece and poke it into place. If you're not happy the first time, you can always take it out and have another go. Now you've completed your first elephant, I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have enjoyed making it for you. Maybe now you feel you'd like to try another kit from the Artfelt range. Thank you, goodbye.